Damn it, let's just make this quick. After a string of movies that, while not bad, weren't memorable in any way, like No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness, I was really hoping that Taika Waititi would at least give us a fun MCU movie for me to call my last. Because yes, this is my last one, and we'll get back to that, but this is just such a weird mess. It feels like they had the blueprints for a pretty decent Thor movie, and then cut like a third of it out because we gotta get it under 2 hours. I liked a few things, like the scene where they fight Gorr the God Butcher, the scene where we're introduced to Gorr the God Butcher, the scene where Gorr the God Butcher shows up at New Asgard, or just any scene involving Gorr. Christian Bale is doing a very good job portraying this creepy yet tortured dude who is simply out for revenge, and his motivations are clear. He is a great antagonist who honestly deserved a better movie. In fact, everyone deserved a better movie. Thor, Valkyrie, Lady Jane Grey, they are all either fun or have potentially interesting character arcs, but the movie doesn't ever seem to want to focus on those arcs. Thor's little identity crisis about finding out who he is and accepting love again is potentially interesting. Jane coming to terms with her cancer is potentially interesting. A society of gods hiding from evil, a la the Lego movie, is kinda potentially interesting. But none of these ideas are given any room to breathe. It feels like they had a finished Thor movie with character arcs that made sense and were developed, and then the producers, they came in and cut all those character moments out of the film to get it under 2 hours, and it messes everything up. Jane gets Mjolnir way too fast. We needed an extra scene where she gets the hammer and then contemplates what that means so as to get us invested in the idea of her being the new Thor. Or like how Jane and Valkyrie have this little rapport going on. But there's no scene where they meet? Why? If you're gonna make these girls best buds, then show us a scene where they first meet each other. They've never met each other. So have the scene where they meet each other. The opening sections with the Guardians sucked because it breezes by so quickly and Thor's little insecurities about them barely shine through. It isn't just underbaked, it's less than a quarter baked! Then, of course, there's the part where this movie has jokes. I chuckled at a couple of them, but I don't remember which ones they were, and the rest were pretty bad. Not even going to touch on the LGBTQ plus rep in this. You know, it means nothing and is completely hollow. And yeah, that's about it. After Ragnarok became my favorite MCU movie for its tight pace and hilarious humor, this being extremely clumsily edited and unfunny is just so disappointing. And it is the confirmation for me that I'm kinda done with the MCU. I'm done giving into their illusions of depth because Spider-Man sat on the roof and cried for a bit. I'm done pretending like it isn't the blatant money factory it is. Nothing in the future of the MCU looks promising, not excited for any of it, and even if I see that anything new from them, I won't be reviewing it on this channel. There are other films and events with way higher quality that deserve my attention way more than the MCU does. And yes, people have pointed out, ooh, James Gunn is still left. He could make a good movie. But so could Taika. So clearly if he can screw up, so can Gunn, and I'm not going to be holding out any hope. A while ago, after all this new Marvel stuff on Disney Plus started piling up, I made a decision, and it was to, after Thor 4, just stop trying to keep up with the MCU and instead focus my attention on Disney's other major IP, and even if that IP has put out a ton of mediocrity as of late, at the very least its highs have been higher than the highs of Phase 4 of the MCU, and at least some of the stuff they're working on has potential. The MCU doesn't, so I'm not going to be sticking around. 6 out of 10, farewell MCU, we had a good run, and see you guys next time when I talk about things that actually deserve my attention.